What's up? Welcome back to my channel, or for the first time if you're new, I'm Sylvan, and today I'm going to be reacting to Yidhari's character demo, Self-Directed, starring myself. I'm interested to see what this is going to entail, so feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, consider becoming a channel member if you want to support me just that little bit extra, and let's get into this. Alright, typing away.
At the terminal.
Okay.
A train arrives, bringing
Writing a story.
uninvited guests.
She is a writer, after all.
Soon after, the passenger named Disaster arrives.
What?
Hold on.
Oh, her with glasses
I
is
guess
cool.
The story's moving a bit too fast.
Yeah, if that's the beginning of the story. Anyways, I get
Let's try
this.
A different opening.
I relate to this.
Fog silently creeps into the station.
Okay.
Ghosts from the past emerge.
Ooh.
Reality and fiction intertwine.
Making herself the main character. Ooh. The echoes that she sees. I'm intrigued by the music. It's very subtle so far.
Fate decided the finale long ago. I am caught in its web. Powerless to escape.
Obviously calling back to the story.
All that's left to do is flip through the same story.
Ooh.
Time and time again.
Ooh. The repetition. Yo? 2D animation? Yo? Oh, them climbing on top of her. She's still moving forward, though. She's still trying to get to the surface. Ooh, and then it's us. Yeah, that's essentially the exact shot from the, story.
Come with me. I'd accepted that I would sink into the abyss and become another shadow waiting for the next train. But those radiant eyes cut through the crowd, granting me a new beginning.
Okay. God, the way they intertwined with each other.
Oh, I really hope they'll like this story.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. This is honestly a rather simple trailer, all things considered. Not in the sense that there isn't a lot here, but rather in the sense that it's just sort of the same content as we were seeing in the main story. It's just a slightly different angle on what we already saw her going through. Plus, a little bit extra at the end. But going from the beginning, this initial part is entirely in the framework of a story Yidhari is writing. She is a writer after all, we know that much, so it works well as an initial framing device for us to be seeing whatever the latest story she's writing on in tangible form. And we have this fun aspect to the visuals where she is just here sitting in the metro while the story is happening around her, and she's narrating everything that happens as she types it up, only for it to all freeze or lean back from her computer for a moment and decide that what she was writing she isn't happy with. It's a bit too quick, a bit too sudden. She wants a different start, which, as I was saying in the reaction itself, I can relate to. The amount of stories I have started writing and then proceeded to never come back to or completely rewrite is many. And it's in this rewrite that she now introduces herself as the protagonist character, hence the name of the trailer being Self-Directed, starring myself. And even the opening lines she's narrating as she writes them are very in line with her as a person, her experience, that kind of thing. Included in the opening lines are stuff like ghosts of the past emerge, reality and fiction intertwine. The first of those two lines is just very much something she deals with due to her capacity to manifest memories and stuff like that. And this idea of reality and fiction intertwining is also in that, with how the things she manifests, intentionally or otherwise, are often false, fictional things created from nothing, and yet they seem real. And it's here that we get a little bit of some combat showing off Yidhari's fighting style, only for it then to also reveal that things are looping. The people who are running and shouting keep appearing and are yelling the same things. Fate decided the finale long ago. I'm caught in its web, powerless to escape. And visually this is being represented in the fact that she fights against this monster who is attacking everybody, but every time she defeats it, things just loop back on themselves, it reappears, she has to defeat it again. My fate has already been decided. I am caught in destiny's web. I cannot escape. That is the mentality she ends up falling into. We see this in the story with how she is trapped in the town. And so all that's left to do is to flip through the same story. If the finale has already been decided and this story is just repeating, might as well just flip through it again and again and again, as it is all we can do. But then when we switch to the 2D animation is where I think the strongest elements of this trailer are, as it is building upon some visual metaphor from the actual story. We multiple times in the story returned to this visual of Yidhari drowning into this abyssal water, desperately reaching up towards the surface but never reaching it. But we are never shown what was pulling her down. Obviously it functioned on its own with her just sinking into it, but to add to it that it seems what is pulling her into the waters in the first place are these echoes of long gone people, of people that could have been, of fictional beings, things manifested due to her power, willingly or otherwise. The thing that detaches her from reality. It pulls her down, pulls her away, isolates her. And though she tries to fight against it, we see the toll it takes on her. Going through the cycle again, she is barely standing as she slowly shuffles forward, dragging her hammer behind her, water dripping off of her in the process. But just like in the main story, the thing that stops her from falling into the darkness, finally once and for all, is us. We grab onto her wrist, we pull her out of it. And I like how they have both of the Phaethon siblings here, because that way they're not arbitrarily picking necessarily. But the more notable thing here is the fact that the emphasis on our eyes is here. Our eyes are glowing with the symbol that they do when we use our powers, which essentially confirms the fact that the notable thing about our eyes that Yidhari was drawn to, that let her recognize us despite not necessarily being able to parse out who was real and who wasn't other than us, is the implants we have that are granting us our powers. But with this appearance of us, with us pulling her out of the water, the rest of the trailer is outside of that. It's in reality. It's her writing her story in just the cafe. I'd accepted that I would sink into the abyss and become another shadow waiting for the next train. I had accepted that I would fade away. I'd come to terms with the fact that I was done for. But those radiant eyes cut through the crowd. And as we close out the trailer, she just hopes that we'll like the story she's writing. Like I said, it's fairly simple, all things considered. It's no ideas we haven't explored before, and there is a strong focus on her connection to us, the impact we have had on her life. And if I'm to give my opinion on sort of the quality of some of this, I would say that I enjoy Yidhari's character plenty. I think there's plenty to like, plenty that's interesting, plenty of avenues that we could go down for interesting stuff with her story. I will admit, I feel like this is a little weak compared to what we tend to get from Zenless. It's still good, it's still quality. Animation is always great. Visually, it's incredibly distinct. I love the 2D elements that they had. But like thematics and character writing wise, I don't know, I was hoping for a little bit more. Still like it, just there isn't as much for me to chew on as I was hoping. But hey, if you enjoyed this trailer, if you're a big fan of Yidhari, don't let that get you down. Like I said, there's plenty of things to like about her character. I just feel like the trailer didn't necessarily hit onto her strong points super hard. It really just sort of touched on things we already have explored with the story. Which admittedly, some of that can just be because of the price of her being the second character to release, yet having a major story component in the initial main story means that they're not going to introduce necessarily too many more elements. I don't know. That's just sort of my take on it for now. Maybe it'll grow on me on a few more watches, but for now at least, that's really all I have to say, so feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment on your thoughts. And very special thanks to all of my channel members, including Decisive and Pokelove101 at the normal tier, and Kondo Nano at the cool person tier. Really appreciate your support, as always, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.